Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Valley of the Judged. I am your one and only gaming monk, better known as Mildra, and with me I have my good brother here in the temple, our resident sky pirate, good brother Sizer.
Wait a vast Mildra, and if I might say so, happy birthday. Week, anyway. A couple days later.
Thank you. Only off by a day, but I will take it. Oh,
all right.
I did joke with a few friends that if they're going to sing me happy birthday, they cannot do it in English.
Cool. I mean, we know it in Spanish, though, don't we? Is it Feliz Navidad? No, that's not right. No, I don't know it in Spanish either.
Yeah. Oh. But that was just to mess with people. Though the folks at the place I had dinner at, they called my bluff and sang it in German. Which I suppose I opened myself up to that, but yeah, it has been a fun one. I still do not know why museums are closed on Wednesdays, because I was going to do some museum hopping.
No, that's super weird. I don't get that at all. Mondays, people. The day to be closed is Mondays, because that is not a tourist day, okay? Mm-hmm. So get with the program, museums. I mean, they're not necessarily like hip to the times. I mean, that's kind of one of the things about museums that we like, but yeah, they could at least try and live in the 20th century.
At the very least, I wanted to go watch something at the Omni Theater, but that wasn't going to happen. But we are back once again. Since we wrapped up Shadowscar last week, which I really enjoyed that. We are heading back into it with technically a triple feature, because we've got one thing that's really light and a couple lighter affairs.
Ooh, triple feature. It'll take us the whole afternoon.
Yep.
I mean, when I go to a triple feature, that's usually what happens.
Mm-hmm. It's much like when that one group rents out a Last Chance Theater to do all 3 Evil Dead movies.
Ooh.
I mean, yeah.
And now they can do all 6 Evil Dead movies.
They never do that.
Okay.
But of course they'll do intermission midway through each one, just so you have your 7th inning stretch to get up and move around.
Yep.
But the first 2 that we have, Arcane Heroes and A Wanderer's Romance, these 2 games are joined at the hip in my mind because I ended up getting them more or less from the same site. And the reason why I slotted in Arcane Heroes is because it is very, very brief, and a lot of these light ones, you're not going to see a whole lot of art, and you're going to see a lot of text. Not a huge amount of text. This isn't some 3-column thing, which most don't do. But these were part of a handful of games that were my early entry to free RPGs in mid to late 2000s internet.
Cool. And this one is definitely light in both rules and in text, because we are into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 pages.
Mm-hmm. So, Arcane Heroes describes itself as a rules-light RPG of swashbuckling action and ancient magic, coming to us from Michael Wolff. This dropped all the way in 2010. And technically, this and the other game we're going to be covering, A Wanderer's Romance, were made by different people, but they were on the same site, which is why they're kind of joined in the hip in my mind, especially since they are touching on similar motifs.
Yeah.
But obviously, it opens up with what it is, assuming you know what RPGs work. And I like that they say, if you don't, ask your geek friends to tell you or check Wikipedia.
Get that sweet fancraft.
Mm-hmm. But the core mechanic is a D6 pool. You're looking for successes. 5s and 6s are successes. In most cases, you just need 1. Sometimes you might need more. And that's pretty much how the core mechanic is going to work. This is par for the course with rules like games. They do not do a whole lot of set dressing. I look at this as not far removed from the no frills design of like Wushu by Daniel Bain, which was very influential in the mid 2000s. But then they go into characters. All characters have a set of abilities ranked from 0 to 5, which determines how well they perform in certain situations. That being melee, ranged, magic, health, lore, social, craft, stealth, and athletics. So we have both attributes and skills mixed into one here. You also have a wound capacity. So this is how many hits you can take. If you're at 0 wounds, you're on death's door, but a craft check can stabilize you. You start with 5 wounds plus your health. Then you have heroism. This is the extra effort mechanic, I'd say. You can add additional dice to any melee or ranged attack check up to your heroism rank. This is replenished after combat or at the end of an encounter, but adding heroism to an attack roll comes with a cost. You have to channel your heroism for 1 round, during which you can only defend.
Okay. So, extra effort mechanic, essentially.
Just one that, after you use it, you're on the defensive.
Yeah.
Then for character creation, you have, after coming up with your concept, you have 15 points between abilities. You start with 1 point in each. Then you pick from one of the starter equipment packs and give your character a name and decide what they look like. So pretty quick affair.
Bim bam boom.
Yeah, since it is 15 points and you get 1 point in each for free, I didn't see anything like a character creation, you're capped at this amount. So there is certainly that.
Well, you could certainly min-max that if you wanted to, and why not? It's rules light, meant to just jump in and have some fun. Beer and pretzels, one might say.
Oh yeah. So combat acts in turns. Initiative is determined by a roll of either melee, ranged, or magic, depending on which type of attack you want to use this turn. Whoever gets the highest amount of successes starts. If there's ties, roll 1d6, and whoever gets higher on that goes first. You can walk up to 2 times your athletic ability in meters per round, or up to 5 times or run up to 5 times. A running character cannot make any additional actions. To make an attack, roll the appropriate ability for your weapon plus its damage bonus. The defending character rolls health plus either their armor's defense bonus or the athletics ability when you're not wearing any armor. In addition, the defender can use his melee ability to parry melee attacks if he wields a melee weapon. If you parry, you forfeit your next action. 1 success is sufficient to parry the attack and prevent all damage. Since all you need is 1 success on a parry on a D6 pool, I'm willing to justify the cost with parry in this case. Otherwise, the idea of, you can only do parry once would have bugged the hell out of me. I'm not a big fan of that.
Sure, I know you like multiple reactions in your systems, like Legend Edition, for instance.
That was never a big... And I remember when you interviewed me, we talked about that, about how silly it seems that you couldn't block or dodge or parry more than once per 6 seconds, and then look at how combat that works in both real world and video games. And imagine applying that in a Souls-like. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you can only block you blocked with your shield. You can't do it again for 6 seconds.
True, though in a Souls-like, if you don't get your stamina up high up enough, you may end up finding yourself getting posture broken pretty quickly.
Which, that's your own damn fault. That's your own damn fault for being too aggressive.
Yeah.
But the difference between the attacker's successes and the ones rolled by the defender are the wounds caused. These are subtracted from your wound capacity. Ranged attacks work like melee attacks, but some additional rules apply. The maximum range for rifles is 100 meters, and for pistols, 20 meters. For each 10 meters in distance increment after the first, the ranged dice pool is reduced by 1. I'm assuming that what is meant here is that for every 10 meters past the maximum threshold.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that would vastly penalize ranged weapons. But then when it comes to healing, if you have at least 1 wound left after a fight, you heal fully after a couple minutes rest. If you have 0, you have to be stabilized with a craft check and need a full day of rest to recuperate. If you can't be stabilized, you die in D6 minutes.
Okay.
And we get to magic. In order to cast spells, you have to wear spell focus gauntlets. You can wear up to 2 spell gauntlets. So I'm reminded of spell break, and this was a decade before spell break would be out. But a special talent is needed to combine spell effects. Attacking with magic works like a melee or ranged attack, but in this case, a character's magic ability and the spell's spell bonus is used. Each spell can be cast either as an area effect centered around the player or directly at a target. A spell's description lists the spell bonus of the spell for both cases. Targeted spells can be cast at any target in line of sight and within 30 meters of the caster. Heroism can be used to increase the attack pool of targeted spells. Area effects have a range of 2 meters around the caster. Heroism can be used to improve the range by 2 meters per heroism spent, but it takes longer to cast the spell. And the caster rolls only once, but the successes he rolled count for each target in the AoE. So you either have a shot or you have a close range burst.
Okay.
Which is interesting. Then for starting gear, you pick one of the following equipment setups. Later, you might acquire additional gear. So the melee fighter gets a hand weapon, normal clothing, scale armor, and 50 euro. A ranged fighter gets a pistol, dagger, normal clothing, and 50 euro. A spellcaster set gets a fire spell gauntlet, caster robes, and normal clothing. So the spellcaster's flat broke.
I guess that fire gauntlet must be expensive. Yeah, looking just into the next page, yeah, it is a little more expensive.
I do like the designer's notes that are added, like at the bottom of this page. It says, Arcane Heroes is inspired by many CRPGs I've played. A lot of rules in this document, especially the magic rules, are my take on the mechanics seen in computer games like Fable 3 or Torchlight.
Torchlight. Haven't heard about that in a while.
I remember how Torchlight 3 was supposed to be a mobile game, and then when they got blown the hell out about that idea, it got converted into a regular PC game.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
But Torchlight and Fate kind of helped carry the torch when it came to ARPGs.
Yeah.
It certainly didn't hurt that Torchlight was made by a lot of ex-Diablo devs. But then we have equipment costs, and with weapons and the like, we have bonus die, what skill they use, and how much it costs. I can see why you get a pistol for the rangefighter, because getting a rifle is going to be very costly.
Yes, indeed.
Pistols and rifles can fire 4 times before they need to be reloaded. In order to minimize micromanagement, the game assumes that the character always has enough ammunition. So
Applause, applause.
they take the approach I do of ammo is technically infinite, clips aren't. But then we have the spell entries. Fire, lightning, ice, storm, and life. And it does say, even although a cost is given here, spell gauntlets are not widely available for sale. Only true heroes can use them to wield magic.
Ooh.
And another asterisk: the first SB is given for the targeted spell. The second is for the AoE. So we have some that are better at AoE effects and some that are better at single target effects.
Yep.
But
you want to, I guess Storm would make sense if you want to deal lightning damage to a lot of different people at the same time.
Let's see, then armor, which the highest bonus of armor is a breastplate, which costs 300. And does caster robes add +1 spell bonus to any spell cast. A assassin's garment is made from very light but durable fabric and is usually colored black. It grants +1 to stealth checks. A gunner's greatcoat is not only a sturdy leather coat, but is fitted with a lot of pockets to store ammunition and other useful things. You can add 1 to any craft checks for reloading or maintaining a weapon. And yes, reloading takes a full turn and a successful craft check, so that answers that.
Yep. Definitely for the people who really want to play like an Irving style character that has like the cool duster.
The duster with a bunch of backup pockets. Or if you're like me, go the extra mile and just have a jacket that's made entirely of pockets. But at the end of each session, the GM grants XP. So we are doing the XP as currency thing. And it can be through things like you can get it through major setbacks, good role playing, the usual affair. Raising an ability costs XP equal to its current rank. Buying a talent costs 5. Raising heroism by 1 costs 2. You can't raise wound capacity directly. You have to spend XP to raise your health stat. Then he has a side note saying, since Arcane Heroes takes some inspiration from Fable 3, the campaign is set in a country where the Industrial Revolution started some time ago. Think of Oliver Twist with guns and magic.
Sure.
Then talents are special abilities you can get. And there's a decent variety of them. Let's see, Animal Handler, you've got Man's Best Friend. Featherfall, you can spend heroism to reduce falling damage. Flourish, you can spend heroism to make it that your next melee attack can't be parried or dodged. Let's see, Heroic Aura. This is definitely channeling Fable.
Oh, yep, for sure. Do we have Infamy Aura? I guess not. It's not that type of game, really.
No, I think both the good and bad and evil alignment in Fable is through Heroic Aura here. Then Heroic Rejuvenation. When you're at 0 wounds, you can forfeit the use of heroism for the rest of the session to be fully healed instantly. All enemies are pushed back 5 meters as you glow in bright light for 1 turn. Piercing Shot. Your next ranged attack ignores armor. Spellweaver. You can combine the effects of 2 spell gauntlets worn. And I didn't cover it, but it is mentioned you can't equip the same spell gauntlet twice.
Okay.
Whenever you cast a spell using spell weaving, the additional effects of both spells apply. The spell bonuses don't add, but the highest one is always added to the magic ability check. Which is why it's noted that each spell has an additional effect. So that could
kind of a conditioner status effect.
Weapon familiarity adds +2 to any attack by 1 weapon choice. You can take this twice. Once for melee weapon and once for a ranged weapon. So you can't take it for magic. Which is understandable, because then you'd have to ask and answer the question, single target or AoE. And if you really want to do if you're doing crazy stuff with magic, you're probably taking Spellweaver instead. And then they go into running the in-game, as well as a few non-combat hazards, a few monsters. Just as some very simple stat blocks. And that's pretty much it for Arcane Heroes.
Yeah.
So, for the time that it came out and what it's doing, it's certainly serviceable. I think if you want a beer and pretzels thing to mess around with, this certainly fits the bill, and it's a free game, so you can't argue with free.
The right price always.
I mean, you can argue with free, you're just not going to win.
Yeah. But also you get what you pay for, right? No. Seems good. I don't know how... Seems like good for a one-shot, honestly. If you wanted to do more with it, I suppose you could. But yeah, it's a little feature light, of course. But, again, free is the right price.
Yep. Yeah, we can go with that.
Yeah.
And when it comes, so I'd say this is like, if you want something for a lengthier campaign, yeah, this isn't gonna help you much unless you house rule the shit out of it. Which, if you want something a little more crunchy, there are other options out there for this style of play. It will always amuse me whenever I see yet another game that is clearly someone taking their experience with certain video games and wanting to do that in TTRPG form.
Yep.
If you want something that is leaning into Fable but could do a lengthier campaign, I would always recommend Warrior, Rogue, and Mage, which is also free. And there's a few others that come to mind on that front, but it's a pretty no-frills thing. I'd probably go with... I hesitate to go with recommended, not because it's not on that level quality-wise, but because it's a you get what you pay for kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to work better if you've got a table that's already a bit genre savvy, because aside from the whole you are heroes thing, there's not really a whole lot of setting or even vibe bullet points that you have.
Indeed. You're going to need some folks who either know like CRPGs or just general fantasy settings to dive into this.
Like, the closest we have is that it is trying to be that Industrial Revolution fantasy.
Yeah.
Which, that is going to assume a degree of genre savviness. Now, if you've got people who've played Arcanum or Fable, you'll be close to the mark. as well as if they've suffered through all the broken promises that Molyneux has made. I'd say it's a cheap shot, but keep in mind, Guru Larry has spent years taking a shot at at him at every video he could, even ones that didn't involve him. But for our next one, we have A Wanderer's Romance. This is by Christopher McDowell. This is slightly larger at about 45 pages, but it's not double column in the same way. This one is part of the umbrella that is Stargazer Games, which is where both of the games were put up. This came out in 2011 as opposed to 2010.
Yeah.
And I'd say both this and Arcane Heroes are kind of in the same umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have a nice little table of contents. We don't have bookmarks or an index. For something of this size, I'm not gonna make too much of a fuss about that.
I wondered if you were gonna come down on them, but nope. I guess you're just feeling chill because it's your birthday week, right?
Well, that and I understand the value of picking my battles, and
yeah,
getting on a game that's like 15 or 45 pages for not having an index or not having bookmarks is not worth it.
Yeah.
But and we do have a nice little blurb about the origin story of the setting, as well as the fact that anything in green boxes are design notes, insight into why certain choices were made. No, there's not any rules content, and these things can be skipped. But instead of going into what is an RPG, we're going straight into tasks. So, task rolls use 2d6 and add the scores of the two elements being used in the task. If the total is 10 or more, it's a success. If the matching die are rolled, then the character's balance is added to the roll. If two parties are striving for the same goal, the one with the highest total succeeds, with ties being broken by balance. If it's still a tie after looking at balance, then a further die is rolled and repeated until there is a winner. For more difficult tasks, the target number is 12, and for exceptionally difficult tasks, it's 14. Related to tasks are tests, contests, activities, and duels, which will be in their own sections. So this approach reminds me a fair bit of Feng Shui. But then we have characters. Instead of the usual attributes, we have the 4 elements. Each element is assigned a score from 0 onwards. Elements cannot go below 0. You assign 6 points by rolling 6 die, with 1 being air, 2 is earth, 3 is fire, 4 is water, and 5 or 6s are freebies.
Okay.
That is an interesting way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The example they give is, so if you rolled 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, you'd have air 2, earth 1, fire 1, water 1, and 1 point as a freebie. And when I say freebie, I mean it's not automatically assigned.
Right.
The GM might allow rerolls or give you a mulligan in case of weird results, such as getting 6 points in one element. Or just distribute 6 points as they wish. Then they go into why they use the Hellenistic elements and not the Chinese ones. It has to do with The 4 elements instead of the Chinese 5 in the Wuxing being less associated with a single culture. Oh. And the fifth, he says that the 5th element is typically present in those, but that's where balance comes in. Speaking of which, your balance score is equal to the highest number of elements you possess that share the same value. So if you have 3 elements rated as 2 and 1 as 0, your balance would be 3.
Mm.
Note that two pairs of matching elements still only grant balance 2.
Okay.
So it's your highest set. Which
Two of a kind, 3 of a kind. Yep.
Which I know would be tempting to say, what if you have elements in a bunch of different values at once? And because of the way this works, I don't think it's possible to do that.
Yeah.
Then specialties, you start with 2 specialties that relate to a single task. You could kind of consider them to be skills or talents or the like. But it's very intentionally broad. Then philosophy is self-explanatory. Your weapon, you start with a single weapon and a sidearm if you wish. You have to choose an armor rating between 0 and 3. I feel like I'll come back to this later because I'd wonder if there's a drawback if you pick to answer the question of why doesn't everybody just pick 3 then? Then you're either an initiate in 2 styles or a student in 1. This includes both combat and magic styles. And then they go into the kind of things that would be in the bringing them to life sort of thing.
Yeah.
They do note that the styles, uses for elements, and the like is not complete. Then the GM is encouraged to add his own content. But when using elements, they give a big-ass list on what would be skills in a lot of other games and what element combinations would be appropriate. But it doesn't sound like this is a hard and fast thing. More of, here's suggestions. The GM might improvise other combinations, but every check is a combination of 2 elements.
And that's probably mostly for the GM to reference. The player probably doesn't need to memorize it.
Mm-hmm.
And they have this nice flowchart here that'll tell you exactly which combinations affect which skills. So,
oh yeah,
easy to cross-reference.
So then we have tests, with both group tests and singular ones. Which we already covered the way the dice roll works. A test is just an unopposed task.
Yeah.
So then we get into combat. When it is your turn to act, you have 2 choices: attack the opponent or focus. We'll get to focusing later. To carry an action such as picking up a weapon, you have to forgo an attack. Whatever action you describe, you should do so appropriately, considering your style and how it might appear in motion. So hitting an opponent in combat is an opposed task. The attacker uses 2 elements of their attacking style, and the defender uses the elements of their defensive style. Everyone knows all the lesser styles, and a character begins knowing 1 or more legendary styles, which will grant a special bonus. Note that a single attack could represent a number of strikes, or building up to 1 that could end the duel. Characters take turns in act in order of balance, from highest to lowest. Tied balance is broken by rolling opposing dice. Whenever you make an attack or are being attacked, each combatant must declare the style that you're using. Only 1 style can be active at any time. You declare style first, with the defender announcing theirs in response. Then we have the concept of the code. Each style has a philosophy that the character must follow in order to progress in their learning. A key part of it is the code or universal code of conduct. A major part of it is that combat should be between two matched opponents, and ganging up is not encouraged.
Okay.
And it's interesting that they bring this kind of code up. This is something that, in the hands of that guy, I could see creating fall or die situations, but nowhere nearly as bad as that game. And it's clear it's meant to be flexible, like the pirate code in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Sure. More like guidelines.
On the other hand, if you are dealing with multiple attackers, each character after the first set attacks on each turn can add 1 to their attack roll. This stacks with each following attackers with a maximum of 4. Because they also have a rule about contests, which is a contest is just another form of their contested role. So no need to delve too much into that, though it is nice to have. Then focusing, which we hinted at earlier. In place of attacking on their turn in a contest or combat, a character may instead choose to focus. They forego their attack and are now considered focused. They may release this focus before any attack or defense roll, to which they will receive +1 to their roll and +1 to resulting damage rolls. Once released, you're no longer focused. This is lost immediately after the action is completed. You cannot stack this by focusing multiple times. Focus is not carried over to new contests and duels. If for any reason you cannot focus, such as being affected by an opponent's ability, you will still use up your attack when you attempt to. So it's the setup and follow-through approach, not necessarily... Sorry, carbonation. Not necessarily building it up over multiple turns.
So we're not doing the DBZ power charging thing exactly.
No. This is more akin to charged attacks that you'd see in a fighting game.
Yeah.
Whether it be the focus moves or whether it be those moves that have, say, super armor.
Yeah.
But if you're hit in combat, you roll a single die and subtract your armor value. Some styles may give a bonus to this damage roll or allow the defender a further bonus. When the final value is determined, the following chart is consulted. Results below 1 are ignored. So 1 to 2, you're staggered. You can make a follow-up attack again. The attacker can make a follow-up attack if they wish, as they press the attack while they have the advantage. If multiple staggered results occur from the same attack, such as someone using Twin Snake style, they still only get 1 follow-up. 3 is weakened. All of the character's elements are reduced by 1 until he receives appropriate healing or rest, depending on the contest or duel in which they are weakened. In addition, their armor is reduced by 1. 4 is defeated. They're at the mercy of the opponent. And 5 or more is killed. He's dead, Jim.
Oof.
Unless the attacker chooses to spare, in which case it's defeated. So, for a game that's very swashbuckling adjacent, I'm surprised at that kind of lethality. Like just one die roll could result in that. But I do have to ask the question, if that's the case, why would somebody pick a armor below 3?
Well, maybe that's yet to be determined, though we haven't seen any reason for it yet. I was almost thinking there may be like some kind of like dodging versus blocking, or like soaking damage versus avoiding it completely. I don't know.
Um,
Um,
actually, on the next page, I get my answer.
okay.
So, armor rating 1 represents basic padded armor. 2 is armor worn by soldiers or guards. 3 is heavy armor worn by heavy infantry or ceremonial guards. Above 3 is rare and difficult to obtain. Your
Hmm.
balance has a penalty equal to your armor level.
Ah, okay.
And remember, balance is the main thing that is used for initiative. So
Hmm. Yeah.
you take the heavy armor, you're going to be acting slower. But then we have attacking styles. These can only be used with certain weapons that are detailed in their name. There are 3 levels to every style: Initiate, Student, and Master. Each style will grant different benefits at each level, which will stack with previous abilities. Lesser styles do not have levels in this way.
Hmm.
An Initiate is basic training. A Student is studied directly under a Master. And a Master is, well, a Master.
Yeah.
If you cannot use a particular element, such as through an effect, it is treated as 0 whenever it would be added or subtracted to a roll or another number. However, the value of the element is not changed for the purposes of calculating balance or comparing it to other scores. I.e., if your elements take hits, you don't have to recalculate balance. But the lesser styles are Weapon Strike of any melee weapon, Fire and Water, Brawling, Earth and Fire, and Hunter's Bow, or just a bow, Earth and Water. And then we have the legendary styles. So we have Elephant's Fist, which is Earth and Fire, which is very much screw you and screw your armor. Harmony Wind uses unarmed or staff, Air and Water. Twilight Song, Fire and Water, uses a straight sword. Warrior's Art is either unarmed or a curved sword, uses Earth and Fire. Hawk Talon, Earth and Water. Grandfather Crutch, Staff or Spear, uses Air and Earth. Gentleman's Tongue, straight sword, uses Fire or Water. A diplomat can kill more men with a word than a sword, but a sword can kill 1,000 diplomats. See, Cloudtail, Spear, or Air and Fire. General's Cry, a curved sword or a glaive, Air and Fire. And each we haven't gone into each one in detail, but they have a decent benefit for Initiate, Student, and Master. Since I got a kick out of Gentleman's Tongue, I'll bring up that one. For Initiate, you double your fire when it's higher than the defenders. For Student, you add water to damage if the dice match. And for Master, you roll 2 dice as normal, but increase the lowest to match the highest.
Ah, okay.
And there's quite a few styles.
Yeah,
here.
there's like 3 more. There's like 6 more pages. No, 8 more pages of these.
This is something that I hope there's that same flowchart, because there's quite a few, and those are the offensive styles.
Yep, and then we get to the defensive styles.
So the lesser style is either careful parrying, any weapon or unarmed, Fire and Water, or swift dodging, Air and Water. And we have that same approach of element combo and getting a benefit at Initiate, Student, and Master applies to the defensive styles just as much. And they don't outright say it, but I feel like there's an implication that at character creation you should pick one attacking style and one defensive style.
Seems wise for sure.
And there we go. There's the flow chart.
I like the one called Raging Fool. I wonder what that one was. It's okay. We don't have to
Oh.
look at it.
Yep. But apparently the guideline was initiate level abilities should be simple. Students should build on the initiate but be innately more powerful. Master ones can break the rules. Oh.
You know, we don't get a lot of art in this book, but I like the paintings that we do see. I'm not enough of, I mean, even putting my art critic hat on, I'm thinking they're oil paintings. I don't really know, though. I'm not that much, I don't have my whole art history degree yet. So.
But then they go into locations, which can have an effect on combat and contests. And then they give a few examples. Each one will either increase and or decrease a element score for all characters present. And this may affect your balance score as a side effect. In some cases, it may affect your balance score directly. So environment should be considered for every contest as a further tactical consideration.
We got Lily Pond, +1 to water, balance, and to Monet. In case you want to throw Claude in there.
Yep. But then for activities, carrying out extended sessions of certain activities should give you a temporary +1 to 1 element score used, which lasts for the rest of the day. So that's a good way to utilize some of the downtime specialties. Certain types of tea and food may give a similar bonus. These will be difficult to find and prepare. Someone skilled in preparation must succeed at a difficult task, so a target number 12, to provide themselves and the other characters with a bonus to any one element and a penalty to another. You can also get a lesson token when you win or lose a contest or a duel with another character. The token will be labeled with the name of the character they have defeated or were defeated by. They may never have more than one lesson token, and taking a new one will replace the existing one. This token can be spent at any point to reroll a single roll, as long as the character marked on the token is present. Upon seeing the result of this new roll, a character may choose to ignore it if they wish, keeping the previous result. So, I'd say this is your extra effort rule, but I like that you have that in order to use it, whoever was involved with the duel or the contest has to be there. It's a nice way to encourage rival storylines.
Yeah.
But
definitely does, like, the focus on one-on-one combat really will help out with that.
Which I know would be tempting to look at the way combat works and go, does that mean you could have these lengthy duet affairs? Not really, because one bad D6 roll is enough to take you out. And even if you have armor, if they roll low, they can just pressure you and keep rolling.
Yeah.
And each time they do that, that armor modifier you get is going to be lowered. So accuracy by volume. But you can learn a new style by training with a character who is at least a student in that style. Usually a full day of studying and training, after which you become an initiate in the style provided. To become a student in a style requires studying under a master, and you can't become a master until you defeat a master in a duel.
Okay.
Specialties can be gained the same way as a style, by training with someone possessing the specialty. So this is our form of advancement instead of any sort of XP approach. that is an interesting move. That you're now, at least from what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah.
But we do have the idea of superior weapons. Oh, which superior weapons appear to be weapons that can be dual role weapons.
Yep.
You're not getting them at character creation. And if you want to try and make one, that's a TN14 task. And it's clear that superior weapons don't give a numerical advantage. It just means that you could potentially use them to count for multiple styles. Because each style, offensively or defensively, requires specific weapons.
Yep. So if you want to use multiple styles, get a superior weapon that can use both.
And you start as a initiate in two styles, and you have the lesser styles as well. So you are going to be using multiple styles at once. Maybe it's just me, but I'm wondering if someone was playing Jade Empire.
Yeah, could see that. I never played it personally. I saw it being played by some friends. But yeah,
I've played my fair share of it, both the OG version, the slightly enhanced version on the Xbox, which is the one I currently have for that, and the PC version, which is probably the best one in terms of content. And then I replayed the whole thing when I got the InStyle mod that changes a bunch of stuff to the point where it's almost a completely separate game in some parts. Like I've called it Jade Empire 1.1. But then we have legendary weapons. These would be rare and hard to, and getting hold of one is not easy. Holding onto it might be even harder. Each weapon has a certain ability. At the start of each turn, a character using a suitable style for the weapon may replace a single ability from the style with that from the weapon. You can choose to ignore this and use it as a normal weapon. Weapons can be used for both attacking and defensive styles, but only legendary styles. You have to declare whether or not you're using the weapon's ability at the start of each round. For example, you can't use a style's ability at the start of an attacking round and then switch to the weapon's ability for the attack itself. I like that for legendary weapons, it's not just a +1 longsword. It's something that there is a clear dividing difference between superior or legendary weapons and just using regular ones.
Indeed, and this reminds me very much of playing in an ongoing Righteous Blood, Ruthless Blades game. There are these like 10 great weapons. These remind me of them a little bit. With some, although I think the ones in there are probably more powerful. These have some cool ideas too.
Yeah, although I'd honestly say this is slightly more lethal than Righteous Blood, Ruthless Blades, which is a sentence I didn't think I'd say.
Yeah.
But then they give a bit of advice on creating styles. If a master is creating a new style, it's an all-day activity. It could be based on an existing style, but swap up to 2 of its abilities of an equal level from any other style you're a master in. Which, that's a very wuxia thing to do.
Indeed.
Then when it comes to magic, I do like that the designer gave clear boundaries on what magic should do and what it shouldn't do. And one of the things I like is no direct element manipulation. Fire magic is not the ability to throw fireballs or give a +1 fire buff.
Yeah, so we're not doing like vulgar magic, as you would say in Mage. Or maybe we are. I guess we'll find out. At least we're not doing the direct manipulation, as they say there.
Yeah. This feels like it wants to be very wuxia style swashbuckling, not necessarily I know it'd be tempting to look at the element thing and think Avatar. I don't think that's what this wants to do.
No.
But magic does still operate within the core sandbox. Types of magic are styles and should be listed alongside them. Magic differs in that at each level you get a range of abilities, even creating your own using the examples given. Casting a spell is like any other test, but only one element is added to the roll, with balance in place of the second element. Balance is added to the roll again if the 2 dice match. Using magic usually requires particular ingredients or materials in a certain amount of time, even if the result is a failure. Characters will have a level of mastery over a style of magic in the same way as combat styles. This determines what abilities they can gain from their magic and the ease at which they can do so. An ability of equal level to your mastery of the magic style will be difficult to achieve, so TN 12, and takes about an hour. One level below, such as Initiate to a Student, will be normal difficulty, target 10, and takes about a minute. 2 levels below requires no roll and takes no time at all. And you can kind of... he notes in the notes that I mentioned earlier that magic should be subtler. I think this is in part due to reinforce that for the combat side of thing, that is in styles. This is just a side. This is, let's say, upgrade, more of a side grade.
Yeah, I went ahead and read Air, and it does seem like it gives you some more like supernatural abilities than it does allow you to throw around bolts of air or what have you.
Yeah. Like starting from conveying a simple message to becoming immaterial. Although the whole absorb another willing mind into your own is this particular level of messed up.
Yeah, it kind of is.
But then, no, Earth magic feels like both health and necromancy.
Yep.
Fire magic is basically psychological warfare.
Rage bait.
Yeah. And its initiated is basically rage bait. Or anti-rage bait, depending on how you want to take it. And water magic can either be messing around with the senses or enhancing the senses. Or I can see into infinity.
Yep, what did they call it in Shadowscar? It was
seeing the mosaic.
Seeing the mosaic, yep. Witnessing the mosaic, yeah.
Yep. And then in the middle of that we have shift an island slowly in a single direction. And Mel says water is senses? Yeah, pretty much.
Makes sense. I mean, we're mostly made of water, or so I keep hearing it said.
Yeah. But then we have wandering bands, which is basically going over how to do parties when it comes to the game. 1 to 3 characters is the ideal range.
Okay. Small group of players.
And in that band, one person should be the leader. But when I go into telling the story and running the game, there is a bit more of a defined vibe in this one, even though it's not a hard setting.
Yeah.
Oh. Mel says, I feel like moving an island is Earth, right? I'm not crazy. If you were looking at the elements literally, that might be the case, but that's not what the magic styles are doing here. The way they describe it
but
is,
actually, with Earth magic, it does say slowly raise or lower an island in Master.
Yep. Which definitely fits with the whole growth and decay thing that Earth magic is going with. Water magic is the magic of change and subtleties. But the setting, or rather vibe, is the islands. Taking place on one or more islands. Each of them are tiny in comparison to continents. It is possible that islands would be isolated for centuries, and the unusual nature of the world means strikingly different climates can exist right next to each other.
And this is reminding me a little bit of a game I've only played a bit of, but DQ7.
I could see it. I'd also bring up a good amount of the islands in Spira in Final Fantasy X.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I don't think the islands would be as small as a K, which is the studio apartment of islands. And Mel says, isn't that One Piece? Can be. I don't think that's what they're drawing from with this. And even though there are islands in One Piece, if I'm being honest, some of the islands, quote-unquote, in One Piece are a little too big to count for that.
Yeah. I mean, what was the Japan island? It was Wano. Yeah, Wano. Wano was pretty darn huge.
Yeah. And since it talks about some islands having kingdoms, like a K is very, very small. It is the size of a studio apartment. The only reason I know that is because I had to read that book when I was a kid, because you know how it is with books that have the Newbery Award.
Yep.
You know, those are the boring books that our parents kept saying, "Oh, this would be good. This would be a good book for kids."
The building character kind of book.
I think the only one of those that I actually liked was Hatchet, and I have bias.
That was quite a book too. It was if you've not read it or never heard of it, like, you know, imagine sort of like a hardcore survival story, like where the kid's a teenager, right? And it gets involved in a plane crash, and in the middle of the Canadian wilderness or like the Minnesota, and then has to like survive and try and let somebody know that he's there to be rescued. So and some pretty wild, wacky stuff happens in that book.
There was a made-for-TV movie for it called A Cry in the Wild, but it's a made-for-TV movie, so you get what you pay for.
Indeed.
Same thing happened with The K, which had Timothy played by James Earl Jones in the most mismatched casting ever. Having James Earl Jones try and do a islander accent, and it does not work.
Yeah,
God bless him for trying.
I can see that. He was doing the best he could, I'm sure.
But they do go into a sidebar about challenges. Now I see what you mean. We had sorry about that, folks. We had a brief disconnect and reconnect.
Yep.
but we are back. We are back, and I'm hoping this thing doesn't get split in two. Oh, but when it comes to that being the max, it really depends on the dice roll because unless the GM lets you, you're not picking how many points you have in elements. And since we didn't see anything,
You there, Monk? I'm not hearing you. Okay, now I am. Yeah.
Since we didn't see anything in the way of XP advancement, what you have for your elements, that's what you got.
Hmm.
But we had a thing on mythical creatures and then the back cover. Oh. So if I'm being honest, A Wanderer's Romance feels like taking what was present in Arcane Heroes and further refining it and giving it a stronger identity.
Like 5 minutes ago. Arcane Heroes, there we go. Yeah, but I kind of like this. The idea of having all the skills or the traits be like earth, fire, air, water is really interesting, and like the way it mixed them all together to form the skill check system. That I suppose that falls on the GM to kind of know what it is, but I suppose you could just print out the flow chart and you could just reference it anytime you need to know how to do a particular thing.
Oh yeah. And like I said, this feels like a looking at Arcane Heroes and then A Wanderer's Romance is interesting because you can kind of see this line of development. This wasn't written by the same guy. Michael Wolff only handled the layout, but you can kind of see a line of succession with how it works.
Definitely. It's like doing a lot with a little. Is what it feels like to me. Just because you have these, styles and these offensive and defensive styles, and we've got a ton of them, but they only take up a couple pages and don't require, and most of them require just 3 sentences to tell you what they do. But I'm a fan of this. I could see playing this for a few sessions.
Yeah. I'd say the only real downside it is going to have is the lack of NPC lists. But because of how I don't think you're supposed to be fighting monsters in this system.
No. Especially because they're like, you should fight people who are like would be on about the same level as you, right? So fighting like the giant snake from Sekiro is not going to be on the menu.
Pretty much. And because of that, I know I gave playable to Arcane Heroes. I would be willing to bump up to recommended for A Wanderer's Romance.
Yeah.
Could there be a little bit of wiggle room to expand upon? Yes, but it's kind of built around that. And more importantly, this one has, in my opinion, a stronger identity.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like I like the layout. The layout is simple, and again, we're doing a lot with a little, right? We don't have a ton of art, but we're making good use of it in the header and the footer. Where the paintings that we do have are pretty gorgeous, and the art. Who is the artist here? Pavel Elegin. Yeah.
Yep. So it's not art specifically commissioned for the game, but they make very good
Yeah.
use of what they have. Um,
Yeah. And it gives you it kind of transports you to the feel of what this game is supposed to
mhm.
be. You know, you
And
got these kind of still scenes with a lot of elements at play. So,
something else that I end up thinking of when I look at this, as odd as this may sound, um, the overall map and vibe of the El Nido archipelago in Chrono Cross.
okay. I kind of like I haven't played that game in a long time. It's kind of on my replay list because I got it for Switch, like or the Radical Dreamers edition.
Hmm.
But yeah, I kind of even I do get that feeling, and like it immediately evokes a few of the musical themes that the underrated musical themes from that game too.
Yeah, I've I've been flying the flag for Chrono Cross for years.
Yeah,
Especially since a lot of people like to try and dismiss it because it and in some obnoxious cases use Chrono Trigger as a means of throwing Chrono Cross under the bus.
yeah.
Uh,
Like I hesitate to say it, but like I was one of those people back in the day when I first played it. I played it all the way through, and I was mad the entire time that it wasn't Chrono Trigger 2. You know, um,
so if
which was
they
short sighted of me. I now recognize.
they ended up addressing that and basically stated that if they had done Chrono Trigger 2, in their opinion, it wouldn't have been good.
Mm,
Uh, which kind of reminds me of the whole thing between the original Alien and Aliens, where Cameron knew he
sure.
couldn't make anything quite like the original, so he didn't even try,
Yeah.
and instead
We
made
go from
something that was closer to what he could do.
indeed, and he makes a good action movie. We can't fault him on that front.
I mean, well, he did, but we're not. I'm not going to get into that right now.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'm a bit of I'm not an Avatar stan. I know that people love those movies. I'm not quite sure why, but I'll give him credit for creating the Terminator and also being a world class submariner.
Hmm.
Uh, which
I
is a thing you can do if you're like a rich dude.
I will give him his props for the fact that he had the most damning takedowns of the whole Ocean Gate thing. And since
Mm,
he's done more dives than certainly than I have or ever will. I will defer to him on that. Um,
yeah.
especially the whole thing of using carbon fiber. Like, what the hell? Like, it's still fiber. That stuff is still gonna fray.
Are we talking about the sub that the suicide sub that killed the unalive sub I should say that um killed that those rich people?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to get in trouble if I say something along those about what I really think of that. So I'll just
Um,
keep my mouth shut.
it was a comedy of errors, and I think that's why
Yeah, it was.
it's evoked such fascination from people
Hmm.
because it is a very good teaching tool of what not to do.
Oh boy, is it ever. Um, and like a sort of a caution against hubris, right? Of listening to the experts when they tell you that you're doing something dumb.
Yeah, because if there's when every expert out there is is telling you this is a bad idea, don't do it.
Yep. Boy,
Uh,
Monk, we're really going stream of consciousness tonight. We went to James Cameron. Now we're talking about submarine disasters. Do we need to get back on track, or are we kind of good just wandering all over? Well, this is a wanderer's romance, right? So wandering maybe is just like what we need to be doing right now.
Oh, yeah. But with that said, we're going to step aside for a couple minutes and then delve into our final entry for tonight, which is WildSpace. So we'll see you in 5 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, heading into WildSpace, which, yes, this is very much channeling Star Fox. A bit
Hell
appropriate.
yeah.
A bit appropriate, given the whole Star Fox thing on the Switch too, although I understand why this is the case, and it has been explained to me why this isn't as bad of a thing, but it does bug me that it is yet again revisiting Star Fox 64.
Mm-hmm. I would have been happier with something new, but they just every time they try something new, it does seem like it's not the experiment fails. So
Assault was
I don't
pretty
know.
good.
I hear you. I didn't care for the walking around sections. Didn't strike me that well. I just really like what Star Fox 64 does, you know. But
Yeah,
I didn't necessarily want exactly another Star Fox 64.
mm-hmm. It's more a running in place kind of problem, because Star Fox Zero was a retread of 64 as well.
Not a good one though.
Yeah, um, if you had the option of taking off the motion controls, it probably would have been better received.
Oh yeah, the motion controls were shit for
Mm-hmm.
that. I never even finished the campaign. I just like played a little bit of it and like these suck. I can't stand this. I have to
Mhm.
Send it back to GameStop, basically.
Yeah. Which is why I'm far more interested in Wild Blue Gliders, uh,
Mm.
which was the Star Fox-like game that's being published by Humble Games.
Yeah,
'Cause at the very is it channeling familiar territory? Yeah, but there's room to go in its own direction.
for sure.
Now, WildSpace runs at
I
about
s-
94 pages, but this is more of a landscape page size than the typical A4 approach. Um,
Yep,
we do have a table of contents with hyperlinks. We do have bookmarks, and we do have an
we do
index.
indeed. Monk, shall we give our disclaimers here?
Yeah. So obviously, I've interviewed Lost Haven and Andy Levy plenty of times. I had him on to talk about cross adaptation between Skies Above and Legend Edition. Pretty much every major project, I've had him on at least once, either for
Yep.
Abaddon or for Skies Above or for WildSpace. Uh,
and I've had him on for 2 of my different shows, as well as look at the screen right now. People, look in that lower left-hand corner. You see that logo? He made that logo.
mhm.
It's the one I've been using all this time. And not only that, but Izzy Peters, who's one of the artists on here, has also done some work for Skies of Fortune. So I would consider, Andy a colleague, a friend. Um, but if I don't like the game, there will be no quarter. No, I don't know. I'm just let that be known that we know the dude. We like the dude.
Yeah. Uh, so we first open with what wild space is, and we are most definitely doing space opera. And although I mentioned Star Fox earlier, but I'd also be remiss if I didn't bring up Bucky O'Hare.
Yep, Bucky O'Hare in the Toad Wars.
You know, Bucky O'Hare, maybe a little bit of Biker Mice from Mars. Maybe I know it'd be tempting to bring up Wildcats, but no, not really. Oh, but that whole idea of anthro space opera is gonna be heavily present here.
Yep.
So this is a D6 die pool. You're rolling a set of die and looking for 4-ups, and comparing that to a difficulty. This can be just 1 hit or 7 or 8 hits for the hardest. But standard is getting 2. And it is doing a it is doing a attribute and skill approach. Though, and you do get on symbol tests, you do get rerolls based on equal to a number of times that your skill rating is. So on a survival track skill, you can on a survival track test you could get 1 do-over. It does mean if you're doing that, you're spending more time on a test.
Yep.
And complex tests are typically in combat. These involve spending or trading successes to either inflict damage or to try and beat your opponent or to remove successes from their die pool. This is called spending successes, and the process goes 1 success at a time between all active participants. When spending your dice to inflict damage or otherwise try and overpower, take over, or catch your enemy, you simply stat. That's what you're doing. Remove the dice you're spending from play. 6s spent here often do critical damage, usually indicated on a weapon or by being in brackets, or allow you to gain 2 spaces during a race or a chase. It is interesting that complex tests are more about building and spending resources, which is something we saw when we covered the Armored Core RPG. And it is an RPG. It's not a jumped-up board game like some people have insisted.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Oh. Just because it's a different approach to RPGs doesn't make it not an RPG.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a few say that it feels like a jumped up board game, which the board game argument with RPGs always baffled me. But that's a
Yeah,
whole other story.
I guess I suppose you could play it without RP or without much RP, but you can do that with D&D too. So
You can do that with pretty much any TTRPG out there. So
yeah.
that's not exactly breaking new ground in saying that.
Yeah.
On the other hand, we also have plenty of board games, and some of which we've talked about, that are borderline RPGs that they end up crossing the threshold.
Mm-hmm.
The Mythic Battles duology is one example. A one that was recently announced is going to be the Nemesis board game. Studio Agat's working on that.
Cool.
But also things like Gloomhaven, which still has its one in the works. And hell, Legend of the Five Rings started as a card game first.
Yeah, it did, come to think of it.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a TCG? I kind of remember it being
yes.
a TCG back in the day. Yeah.
A TCG that was almost like a 4X game in TCG form.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Especially with the ways you could win. And then some asshole pulls out all 5 rings and wins anyways.
Yeah.
But
Ugh.
It wasn't as accessible as say Magic, but it was certainly interesting, and I'd say it was a lot more accessible in terms of presenting an experience than, say, Spellfire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the card game that TSR tried to do, but they did it, was done too late and they overproduced.
Yep, I remember Spellfire, and it's one of those ones definitely considered a dead game these days. So
it had a bit of a fan revival, but I'd hesitate to call it accessible. There is a bit of a skill floor.
Okay.
But then we do go into combat and combat zones. There are 5 ranges with these zone mechanics: close, short, medium, long, and extreme. Battlefields are split into zones as determined by the GM. Cloudbreaker does a similar thing. A narrow alley might be only 2 zones to represent close quarters fighting, while stretches of space around a space station might have 5 or more zones. And the key thing with this kind of zone-based design is it's not an instance of one participant occupies one zone exclusively, like you would see in, say, grid combat.
Yeah.
Weapons have optimal ranges. This is a zone that, when used, they do increased damage. I like that it's optimal ranges, not maximum range, because you do have some weapons in various games where there's a certain sweet spot range that you're supposed to use, like, say, medium range missiles in BattleTech.
I gotcha.
And then we also have inoperable ranges, meaning you can't shoot at that range.
Yep.
Melee weapons don't have optimal ranges because you can't use it beyond close. So it'd be kind of redundant. But close is same zone, short is adjacent, medium is 2 zones, long is 3 zones, extreme is 4 zones, and out of range is 5 or more.
Okay.
And that's largely covering ship combat. We do have the option of personal combat, so if you're fighting outside of a fighter. So the first step is rolling for surprise. This is a covert stealth test versus a difficulty equal to the highest rank an NPC has in investigation observation, +1. If you characters who succeed can move one zone closer if they wish, and if able, can make an unopposed attack against their opponents. If the NPCs are ambushing, then investigation observation tests are required with a difficulty equal to the highest covert stealth specialty the NPCs have. One PC can move a zone and attack for each PC that fails. If the whole party fails, then they're going to be in for a bad time. Yeah?
Yep.
So once surprise has been done, players and GM roll 1d6 and add the rank of both their mobility skill and the relevant combat skill rank. That's going to determine who. And this is a sum-based approach, so this is going to determine who's going first in initiative. Obviously it's top down. I haven't seen very many games do bottom up initiative in quite a while.
Yeah, come to think of it, what's like? I'm not sure I've played one, a game that does.
Early D&D did, and then added escalating initiative as a optional rule that just became the default. I think the reason it became the default is because it was easier to grasp. With early D&D, you have some cases where you're rolling high and some cases where you're rolling low. And as we get closer and closer to third edition, we start focusing more and more on roll high being the primary approach.
We do indeed, and I remember the old days of THACO.
Yeah, I don't miss that.
No, like, even if you get it, like, there's gonna be someone at your table who doesn't, and you're gonna have to explain it to them every single session, you know? So, yeah.
Like, once you understand...
Not a crowd-pleasing mechanic. Yeah.
Like, once you understand the way it works, okay, fine, but it's very much a artifact of the wargaming scene.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to choose your course of action, which is either aggressive, balanced, or cautious. Now, aggressive is blaster or melee plus the relevant specialty. You can trade your successes to perform the following: either damaging targets, you inflict your weapon damage or critical damage when spending a 6, move a zone, or wildfire. Inflict increased damage 1 for 4s, 2 for 5s, and 4 for 6s. You also take increased damage until you next spend a success.
Okay.
The balanced approach, you can either damage targets, move a zone, or pin down. So I spend your successes to remove successes from a target. Or cautious, which is mobility, acrobatics, or covert stealth. And you can either move zone, do an overwatch, you choose an enemy. If that enemy spends success to move, inflict your weapon damage, or critical damage if you spend a 6. Or take cover, increase your armor by 1 for a 4, 5 for a 2, or... 1 for a 4 or 5, or 2 for a 6. I don't know, I think I was falling into habits. You also have the first aid approach, which is science and biology. You can trade your success to either stabilize an ally or tend to an injury.
Kind of like this. This is like almost like stances that you can take.
It pretty much
determine
is.
your abilities. Yeah.
It pretty much is, and it also means that even if you're using just attacks, there's ways to go about it that might benefit you more than others. It's a good way to do tactics in a system that isn't going to be as hardcore about positioning.
Mm-hmm.
But with tending injury, 4s recover 2 health, 5 recovers 3 health, 6s recover 4 health. And there are other actions you could potentially take. And then we have the trade-off. This is where you start spending your successes. And it's clear that there's a balance of, do you want to do damage or do you want to prevent the opponent from doing damage?
Yeah. And I suppose you could do like flavor it like I'm laying down covering fire or something. Like the pin down option from balanced to like I'm blocking the opponent's blows or I'm pinning them down with covering fire or what have you. So
and it's because of the way it's set up, playing defensive with your dice is not advised, because you're gonna have to roll these again in the next round.
Yeah.
So there's some similarity with stuff we've seen in like Kamigakari, which I covered with in the past, or with the AC6 RPG, where in this system your dice are more of your action economy rather than your chances to hit or miss in combat.
Yeah.
And we do have a separate combat system for dogfighting, which dogfighting, if you're going to be dealing with starfighters, is inevitable, and it's one of those things that some people have struggled with, and I think the reason why is because they are still thinking in the way that you do regular combat. I think you and I talked about this with Skies about the fact that on-foot combat and ship combat can't work the same way.
No, they really can't. Especially I think you need with ship combat, like facing is almost always can at least with the way I'm gonna do it in Skies is facing is very much a factor. It's not gonna be a factor in like party scale combat.
Yeah. And when it comes to dogfighting, I don't think you can do dogfighting in the same way as you would either of those. Because dogfighting is a dance. Both sides jockeying for a position to get to outmaneuver you.
Yep.
But for the most part, dogfights work like personal combat. But it's split with surprise, which works the same way as it does as normal. It's just that the opposed skill and specialty is tech and hacking. Then initiative is determined, which uses mobility and pilot for initiative. Then you choose course of action, which it is on the stance setup, but the skill you use and what you can get out of it do change somewhat. So pilot offensive is what you roll for aggressive. You can either damage targets, move zone, or do wildfire. Balanced, you can either damage targets, move zone, or do a barrel roll. I'm sorry, I was legally required to say that.
Do a barrel roll, Fox. Yep.
For balance, you can roll pilot offensive or defensive, and a barrel roll removes successes. Cautious, you roll pilot defensive. You can move zones, or do Overwatch. You could also do evasive maneuvers to reduce incoming damage.
Yeah.
You also have system analysis, which is, I say, kind of the first aid equivalent. Either repair hull. You can only use this if you use the repair specialty, because the pair you need is tech and repair or hacking. I'd say you can trade successes to perform the following when taking the first aid course of action. Whoops. This isn't first aid, this is system analysis. Power to shields. You can recover additional shield points based on successes spent. Or assisted shot. Provide an ally with +1 damage on a 4 or 5 or +3 damage on a 6. Or hack system to remove successes from a target. So you've got 2 ways to remove successes from targets, which is a very nice touch.
Yeah.
Oh. And then we have other actions you could potentially take, and also you can use fuel reserves to allow you to move faster, recover shields quicker, or turn out more damage. This doesn't take an action, but you have to announce your intent before taking other actions.
Yeah.
Oh. And of course, the way trade-off works is the same, then rinse and repeat. Then we get to injury, death, and healing. Oh. Now, with rest, you can recover 1+ endurance in health. If you fail to achieve one of the conditions, i.e. sufficient rest, nutrition, and hydration, you don't recover. If you fail to achieve all 3, then you lose 1 health per day. An ally can do a science biology test to give medical treatment once a day. Once the necessary successes for a standard roll are achieved, you get 1 health and additional health for any successes exceeded the 2 needed for a standard roll. A 4 or 5 restores 1 health, a 6 restores 2. So science and biology can be used to stabilize somebody if they are at 0 health. The total number of successes needed is 2 + 1 for each failed endurance test the patient has made.
Cool.
Now, a fighter that's at 0 hull points is destroyed. Now, provided you're in a suit, you could jettison to await pickup. The pilot can make a tech appraise test to recover components from their fighter. The number of successes required is based on the hull score of the fighter, +1 for each mod the fighter had equipped. Hull points are always recovered first before mod. After that, you need to either take the parts to an engineer or make the repairs themselves. To rebuild and repair the ship, it takes 1 or more standard tech repair, with additional successes being required to add on salvaged mods.
Okay.
So the more you customize your ship, the more expensive it is to try and build it if you screw up.
Indeed. And definitely, it looks like we're able to mod our ships, so that's cool.
So then we get to character creation. The first part of it is... Shoot. I'm going to zoom this out a little bit, since I don't need to have it as zoomed in because of the way the pages are set up. But archetypes are akin to classes, but you're not getting a bunch of stuff as you level up. It's more of, well, an archetype. It's a broader category.
Yep. You know, this has reminded me of a particular scene from Wayne's World. Do you know the one I'm thinking of?
Do you have any idea? Yeah. Fair. So we have the Charmer. And I want to see if you get all 3 archetype abilities, or if it's stated just yet.
I'm guessing you get, I'm noticing that between the first 2 archetypes, the first one has 2 regular abilities and a starfighter trait. The second one only has 1 ability and a starfighter trait. Yeah. So my guess is you get both.
I'm guessing, yeah, you'd get the archetype abilities and then 1 trait when you're only in starfighters. Let's see, then we have the Guardian, who's the tank. I do appreciate the sci-fi'd up sawed-off shotgun along with a shield.
Yep. Right, shield.
Mm-hmm. See, then we have the hunter, so that's our sniper.
Hmm.
And that one only has one archetype ability in it and a starfighter trait. See, then we have the mystic, the mage, who is technically not a mage but also is, or a psychic. And the savant, who is the skill monkey.
Tech brain.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're Slippy, if you will.
Yeah, except you're not having to bail him out every 5 minutes. Oh.
Thanks, Fox!
And the scavenger. Oh. Don't think there's an equivalent of the scavenger with the Star Fox crew.
Not closest would be Falco, I would think.
No, but Falco's archetype is douche.
Yeah, that's true. He's like even more of a jerk in the new Star Fox game for Switch 2 as well. Mm-hmm. Like they actually ramped it up.
Oh. And I say that he's a douche, but it's best to, I think the best way to describe the way Falco's character is I'm too talented to be putting up with this, but I can't quit you guys.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh. But I'd say the scavenger is the type who he may not be able to build you the latest gadget, but he is the person who is the most familiar with percussive maintenance. I.e., it ain't pretty, but it works.
Yep.
And remember one of the rules of combat: if it's stupid but it works, it's not stupid.
There you go.
And for anyone who thinks it would be a little bit much to do that in a space opera, I'll remind you all that the UK's nuclear program started with 3 guys in a shed. Also, that's how we got the L96A1, also known as the Green Meanie. It was the company that made it. Accuracy International was just 3 guys in a shed. They submitted the rifle to the rifle trials thinking, oh, this ain't gonna win. It wiped the floor with everybody.
Ooh.
And then they got notification that a requisition officer was going to come to look at their shop. So they rented a warehouse and had a bunch of firearms in various states of assembly to make it look like they had a full operation. Then they said, all right, looks like you guys got a decent operation. Let's go and do lunch. So they went and did lunch, and the officer said, yeah, this was really a formality. We just wanted to make sure you weren't 3 guys in a shed.
Oh, goodness.
I can only imagine how much they were internally screaming during the whole thing. Like,
yep.
Oh shit, we are in so much trouble.
They're like, don't say anything, don't say anything.
Mm-hmm. But after picking your archetype, you pick out your wild trait. I like that instead of having an animal list, they just have a list of traits. You pick 3 of them that best personify which type of animal you're trying to be.
Yeah, and like anybody who's ever thought of like having a spirit animal or a person, like a fursona, is gonna know immediately what kind of animal they want to be anyway. So,
although there is a small part of me that wants somebody to do a swan who has rage issues.
they like or like what is a swan, but like a fancy goose, right?
Oh. Yeah, and we've already established geese are the devil.
They are. Those Canadians are out for our blood, that's for sure.
I still find it amusing that the Gee's problem was almost taken care of, and then we decided to go back from the brink.
Yeah.
Uh, Most people hate them because they attack everybody. I hate them because they turn my bike trails into a minefield.
Yeah, I get that. And like they're all over, like at my work, there's like we have like a couple lakes on the premises.
Hmm.
So you can they're all over the friggin' place. They have nests and like huge flocks of goslings around, like about a month in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Yep. But the wild traits we have, each one of them is kind of self-explanatory as far as what they would end up doing. But we have amphibious nature, desert dweller, fleet-footed, flexible skeleton, graceful landing, heightened reflexes, keen nose, natural armor, natural camouflage, natural weapons, nocturnal senses, small stature, titanic bulk, tundra dweller, venomous hunter.
Yep. Quite a few.
Mm-hmm. And then your health is equal to 6 plus 3 times your endurance. Your initiative is going to be either mobility plus blaster, melee, or pilot. And armor is obviously going to be how much damage you can take. This is based on equipment or wild traits. You start with a flight suit and 1,000 creds to gear yourself up. And
Nice.
we're not doing an advancement setup, but more a milestone thing where between missions or during downtime you can either improve 1 skill or 2 skill specialties. If you choose transience disciplines, you can choose a new discipline instead of either skill or skill specialties. But I have to go back and check something because I don't think I saw how you're going to be spending your skills.
Spending skills,
or how are you doing your starting skill spread?
Oh, right. I think it's based on the archetypes, because they have like preferred skills that go with each one.
They have preferred skills, but I don't know how much you're putting in them.
Yeah, fair. Let me see if I can find a character sheet at the end of this here. I'm not seeing one. Maybe you don't really. Maybe these are simple enough that you don't really need one. There definitely isn't one at the end. Maybe there's one at the end of this chapter. Though that would be an unusual place for it.
Yep. But you do build a starfighter as well. Rather a starting one, which isn't straight out of the production line. It's likely you've had it for a while.
Yeah.
So by default, starfighters have handling 0, system 0, shields 1, hull 2, and fuel 2. You get a bonus from your archetype and 4 points to modify the starfighter. You also get 1 starfighter weapon and 1 modification, which can include a secondary weapon, regardless of the hull rating of your starfighter. And I need to go. Yeah, that is that
we can pester Andy about that later, because like I think you're right, because I don't see it in there either.
Unless it's in there later. But getting back to starfighter,
yeah,
handling is how easy you can maneuver. Each one allows a reroll on pilot defensive tests.
Yeah.
Systems is your ECM shenanigans. and this allows for rerolls on pilot offensive tests. Shields generates shield points. Each point allocated to shields gives you 6 shield points and regenerates 1 point per turn equal to rating. Starfighter modifications may modify that. Obviously, shields take damage first, and then hull takes damage. The hull is the physical form of the ship. Each point for hull gives you 1 hull point, and you can equip a number of weapons equal to the hull rating.
Yep.
And fuel is a 1-for-1. Each point in fuel gives you 1 fuel point, which can be used for certain benefits. You can spend fuel to either boost thrusters, move forward 2 zones during combat, divert energy to shields, recover 4 shield points instantly, divert energy to weapons, increase damage by 1, or recalibrate scanners, increase initiative by 2 for the combat.
Gotcha. Now, like, it doesn't seem like fuel is an expendable resource, though. Exactly. Does it regenerate? Is that what we're seeing? Oh, maybe it is. Okay, so
I think if it was a limited resource in that sense, then there'd be the temptation to be very defensive with it, which I don't think would fit the vibe here. And okay, in the skills part, that's where we answer this. This really should have been in character creation.
Okay.
So we've already mentioned how skills and specialties work. You get 1 rank in each skill favored by your archetype, and 6 additional points to spend on skills that you choose. No skill can go above 3. Each rank in a skill gives you 1 die. Each skill has 3 specialties within them. These are more focused uses of the skills and provide additional die for die pools. They are ranked similarly to the primary skill, but they can never exceed the rank of it. You can spend 6 points in specialties to customize your character further. Which, alright, I see where we're going with that. So let's see, the skills we have are Arts, Blasters, Covert, Education, Endurance, Insight, Investigate, Melee, Mobility, Pilot, Presence, Science, Survival, Tech, Transience, which is a special case. Underworld, and that is all of the skills.
Smuggling. This feels very Star Wars to me right here. Han Solo hiding in the smuggling cache while the stormtroopers walk overhead.
Yep. But then when it comes to the armory and workshop, first we have personal weaponry and the traits that weapons can have. See, Blast is a multi-target thing. Concussive, you can force an opponent to re-roll successes. Nice. Damage, deals that amount of damage, and a secondary number if you spend a 6 on it. Dual wield increases damage by X when wielding in the offhand along with another one-handed weapon and within usable range. You do need to have ranks in the associated specialization equal to the dual wield rating. Hey, dual wielding, and it doesn't suck. What a concept!
Hey!
Inoperable range and optimal range, we already covered that. Piercing ignores armor ratings. Rapid fire lets you add additional attacks to attack tests. Sustained increases damage by rating for each success spent on the same target. So accuracy by volume in multiple forms.
Yeah, the flamethrower has that.
Mm-mm. I do find it amusing that the flamethrower is treated as a blaster. Oh,
Yep.
let's see. They have heavy blaster as a pistol. I'm thinking that's supposed to be maybe it's just me, but when I'm thinking heavy blaster and pistol and this kind of thing, I keep thinking of the Samaritan from Hellboy. It's
Let me
just a
think.
big
Oh,
fuck off
yeah. Yeah,
revolver.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
The one that he carries around and isn't actually very good with.
he isn't very good with, and then Hellboy 2 gave us something worse with Big Baby.
Yeah.
Oh. Let's see. I feel like Stinger is meant to be a machine pistol. Assault blaster, shotgun, and sniper rifle are self-explanatory. Flamethrower is get the Flammenwerfer. I think repeater is meant to be akin to a minigun.
Yep. Sounds right.
Mm-hmm. Oh. And missile launcher is exactly what you think it is. Oh. And yeah, they outright say Stinger is slang word for automatic light blasters, so it is basically a machine pistol.
Yep.
Oh.
Bing, 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 bing.
Mm-hmm. And we do have a nice little art array of the different types, and I was right. The repeater is basically a minigun.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of shotguns in a sci-fi setting is always amusing to me, because you have to answer the question, how do you do shotgun when everyone's using energy weapons?
Yeah.
Oh. I think some have taken the approach of it's a sonic weapon, and others take the approach of it's firing a spray of blasts. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have a similar thing with melee. Oh. Where you either have brawl, mundane, or high tech. Oh. And yes, we do have our legally distinct lightsaber and light spear.
Ooh, we do. Beam sword and beam halberd.
Although the design of them here makes me think more the equivalent weapons in Phantasy Star.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh.
I know, I think they were thinking of some cat characters when they made those Durasteel claws. Because there's just some animals that are going to want to claw you.
Yeah. Hey, at the very least, one could do something Phantasy Star adjacent in this and not feel dirty. No, I'm not letting that shit go. Oh.
Nor should you. Nor should you.
And because of the design of the Breacher Axe, I have a terrible idea in the back of my mind of someone combining the Breacher Axe with a shotgun.
Yep, I see it. I see it.
And call it the doorknob. And see, then when it comes to personal armor, you have one of 4 different ratings, and the ratings also have an escalating penalty. So the penalty is a die pool penalty when using either covert, endurance, mobility, acrobatics, or escape, or stealth, athletics, respectively. So the good old heavy armor, you're not as mobile. Yep. Somebody who's worn plate can relate. But I like that we have the flight suit, which has some armor, but not much. Then light armor, heavy armor, and then tactical armor.
In case you're getting spendy.
Mm-hmm. and then a collection of personal equipment. Including a
Okay.
jetpack for those who want. Oh, but then we have
You never
starfighter
saw.
weapons.
Did you never see the Rocketeer, Monk? Don't you want to live that fantasy?
I never see the Rocketeer.
Anyway.
What the hell kind of question is that? Come on, man.
Goodness.
Come on, man. Have some faith in me.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Let's see, starfighter.
What a thing to say to you on your birthday week. Anyway, please continue.
Yeah. So starfighter weapons are exactly what you think they are. They are significantly more expensive. Although I don't know why only laser turret has the cost when the other ones here don't.
Yeah, I almost wonder if that's like one that that just fires on its own, that you don't. There's more on the next page too.
Mm-hmm.
There's not too many weapons though.
Yeah. Homing missiles are the one with their own unique trait, where dice traded to remove your successes force you to re-roll instead.
Yeah.
But then you do have different modifications. Oh, and the cost is in the flowchart instead of on the thing, which, except for the laser turret, which is a bit odd. But
yeah, and it's not the same in either one either. It's laser turret 300 creds in the formal entry, and then in the flowchart it's 500.
I'm going to assume 500.
Yeah.
But let's see. I feel like the splinter cannon is meant to be the starfighter equivalent to a shotgun.
Yeah. Close range. Yep. Can't shoot long range. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
For those who really want to get in close.
Pretty much, it's probably something that would be ideally used in dive bomb runs. Of course, a beam laser is exactly what you think it is. And homing missiles for those who really want to do the Itano circus. But I'd also imagine splinter cannon be used for people who want to get enemies off them.
Yes.
But then we have modifications. Remember, the more modifications you put on, the harder it is to salvage the ship if it blows up. And we also have retrofitting. Upgrading the ship's core mechanics is a costly and time-intensive process, but it does have its benefits. First off, you need specialized knowledge and expertise. The handling, systems, hull, shields, and fuel can all be upgraded. This costs 5,000 creds multiplied by the new and improved rating.
Okay.
So, you can do it. You're just paying up.
Yep.
But transience is basically it is the Force. let's not beat around the bush here. It is in 3 categories: telekinesis, telepathy, and biokinesis. When advancing skill ranks, you can take a transience discipline instead of increasing your skill ranks. And it is a case of you just take the thing, and using it is usually a transience skill. Biokinesis, in the case of biokinesis, for example, that would be the specialty you'd use.
Yeah.
But let's see. With biokinesis, we have biomanipulation, life sense, natural connection, and warp DNA. And each one has a particular type of scene where it's going to be useful. Oh. Let's see, then telekinesis. And I do think it's a good call that you could not use these in starfighter combat.
Yeah.
Oh.
Too big of a scale,
Mhm.
really.
But then they go into factions and planets. I like the individual flags we have for each. So the Hyperion Dominion, which
these are absolutely Andy flags. He's done several flags for us too, and I can recognize his style. So,
the Interstellar Commerce Federation, the Starbound Liberation League, which that started. I know it's not intentional, but that star design reminds me way too much of the star design that the Clanners use in BattleTech.
Okay.
I don't think it's intentional. It's just I gotta be me.
Yeah.
And remember, to any Clanners, go get fucked.
Okay.
But
now, where's our Andros army here? That's what I want to know.
See. It's definitely not Hyperion. That would be your
Galactic Empire, or maybe even like your Warhammer Empire, I suppose.
Warhammer Imperium would not be too far off, because they talk about, despite their expansionist attitude, they spend as much time fighting each other as they do enemies.
Yep.
The ICF also spends a lot of time fighting each other.
Indeed.
I suppose, like, if I were to do a Star Wars parallel, maybe Black Sun.
Yeah, there we go.
Or the Hutts.
The Hutts. I don't think Black Sun's canon anymore. So probably the Hutts.
Then, if that's the case, I will invoke the words of Samuel L. Jackson. I acknowledge the council has made a decision, but given that it's a stupid-ass decision, I've elected to ignore it.
All right. It's your birthday week. We'll allow it. Allow it.
Plus, I have stated the whole, that's not canon, it's just Legends. I'm like, Legends is canon. Anyone who says otherwise is wrong. But I could also see the separatists as a parallel for the ICF.
Yeah.
But I think a mixture of that and the Hutts, in the sense that the Hutts are factionalized. Every Hutt has their own. Every Hutt cartel has their own territories. They don't always get along, and in fact, most of the time they don't. The only thing that unites them is fighting each other is bad for business.
Indeed.
The Starbound Liberation League. This is your Federation. This is your New Republic. That kind of thing. Your Free World League in some cases, with just as much infighting. Because
Indeed.
the only thing that can kill a Merrick is a Merrick. Glory to Merrick.
Mm-hmm.
The Voidwalker Cartel is the straight up criminal organizations, pirates, raiders, and all of that. I'd say for those who want to do pirate hunting, they'd be picking fights with the Voidwalkers. I don't think this is our Andros.
Bring it.
see, the Eclipse Consortium, um,
Hmm?
considered a criminal by the Dominion and a rival for commerce by the ICF. Another boot of the throats by the League, and on and off business partners for the cartel.
Hmm.
I'd say the closest thing to anything Andros adjacent would be this, but I'd say the Eclipse Consortium is the closer to the mark to Black Sun.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, because they have like their like public facing stuff too.
hmm. And several different smaller factions, whether it be mercenary companies, settler caravans, treasure hunters, or explorers.
Okay.
And then we have a collection of planets, uh, along with some locations and potential encounters for each of them. Basically, a good amount of story seeds.
Yeah.
The first one is Cadria, which I think some people would say is a me kind of planet.
There you go. This is Hoth, or as you know, Galactic Minnesota, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Then we have Amory, desert with an equator band. So this isn't full on Tatooine.
No.
Oh.
It does have 2 moons, though. Oh, I
Mhm.
guess Tatooine had 2 suns.
Yep.
Never mind.
But it is, because of the fact that it's got a river on the equator like that, it kind of reminds me of the main planet in Heavy Gear that was divided between north and south. But then we have Kita, 50% ocean, often warm and humid, so a swamp planet, including the fact that you've got you have a economy of beast hunting, and few settlements. Probably because half of the things there want to kill you.
Yeah, this reminds me of, well, you probably didn't see the Mandalorian and Grogu, but we spent quite a bit of time on Nal Hutta in that movie, and this is probably very similar.
Yeah. Of course, I didn't see it. I didn't hate money enough to go see it.
Fair enough.
But then Heon, a gas giant.
All right, so our best spin here, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. And a few other planets, as well as some rules on hazardous environments. Then adversaries and allies. This is our bestiary chapter.
Yep.
This is divided between simple NPCs and complex NPCs. I do like that instead of having a one-size-fits-all for, say, fighter pilots, we have different types.
Yep.
Then the rules of how larger vessels work. Larger vessels are just anything bigger than a starfighter. They have a crew rating to determine how many die they roll for a round of combat. That crew rating is reduced each time the part of the ship the crew is allocated to takes hull damage. Larger vessels have hull and shield ratings, and thus HP and SP similar to a fighter, but for separate sections. This also means while larger vessels have weapons and modifiers like a starfighter, they're allocated to different parts of the ship. Larger vessels also have fuel ratings, often carrying more than a typical starfighter. The downside is during a dogfight, most larger vessels need to use fuel if they wish to move even a fraction of the distance a starfighter could.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Of the larger vessels, we have corvettes, which have the balanced engine ability. Frigates, which have gun batteries. Carriers, which have launch bays. So it can, for each launch bay it can have 3 starfighters, which can return to carrier and relaunch at the next round of combat, fully repaired.
So that's not. I think the next ones are Star Destroyer, though.
Yep, Cruiser, which has the Dreadnought ability. They can take any of the
Yep.
modifications found in these smaller large vessels, but can also possess the Star Cannon weapon mod. It is a souped-up laser cannon, takes up 2 mod slots, and does 5 damage, 7 on a 6. Has is optimal at long range, inoperable at close range.
Okay, well, don't get caught in that, folks.
And I feel like I need to remind everyone that that's 5 damage per success.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. It's gonna mess up your little fighter.
And then Freighter, this is for if you want to have the Serenity or the Bebop. The Bebop would probably
Or
be
the
closer.
Falcon. Yeah.
Yep. And then a Index. Then the
with
back
clickable
end.
links.
Oh, I'm not entirely sure why there's a blank page just before the Index and just after the Index, but that's how it goes. Oh, but overall, that covers WildSpace. So, what do you think of it?
Well, let's see. Geez. I kind of wonder. I think this game is gonna kind of live and die on the Starfighter the Starfighter combat, and I'm not sure I can picture it yet. I feel like I need to see it in action to really have an idea of how it works. But people are going to see this and immediately think Star Fox. They're going to want to probably play more to do with the ship combat. Maybe not as much with the party scale combat. That's my feeling anyway. So I hope that it works as well in space as it does on foot. Yeah. Let's see. Seems like that we've got a fairly good range of mods that you can add. You've got the ones that you would want. They have very simple descriptions. I feel like this kind of goes along with Wanderer's Romance in that you're doing a lot with a little, right? You're not having these long descriptions for all of your stuff. The various systems are fairly concise. All in all, I think I like it. But again, I feel like I need to see it in action too.
For me, there are some things that are going to be an adjustment period for certain tables. I think one of the main ones is the fact that you're not rolling to hit. You have to look at your dice like they are lands in Magic.
Yeah.
In the sense that your dice are your action economy that you're spending, not your chance to hit.
Right.
And because of that, this is far more focused on balancing offensive and defensive resources rather than whether or not you can hit or not. It's a different approach, and it is going to take an adjustment period for people who only know one or two ways to do things. But I think it works with this because it avoids a lot of the problems you could have with a more standardized combat system. Especially since, in A Wanderer's Romance, you have, because of the way the style system works, you have a variety of option in that form. If this took the approach of roll to hit, you'd have a lot of rolls being very samey. And I think what helps things work significantly easier is the stance system. And the fact that it's very clear that you're encouraged to switch between stances. I think that if there's any real problem that I had, it's that I do not like the notion of the notes about your starting skill spread not being in the character creation section.
Right.
That
Ugh.
bugs the hell out of me. It's not the only game that does this kind of thing, but that doesn't mean I have to enjoy it.
Yeah,
When it
it's not
does
how
happen.
it's not how I would have done it. It's not how I do it. I tend to like a character creation section where it just lists everything you need to do and then maybe gives you a page number, you know?
Mm-hmm. But other than that, I'd be, even with that issue, I'd be willing to put WildSpace in. Um, I'd go with strongly recommended, because even with some of the nitpicks that I have, that isn't quite enough for me to dismiss it.
Yeah.
Because it still has a very strong understanding of what it's doing, and I am glad that we have something resembling a setting in this, instead of just relying on the game going, "Oh, you've probably played Star Fox, you know how this works."
Yeah. It definitely does not seek to completely just do Star Fox, right? Which wouldn't really work terribly well as an RPG in any case. Well, maybe it would. I don't know.
You'd have the you'd have the problem that you have with a lot of adaptations of various works, where you just have the legally distinct versions of the cast from the games, and that's not enough.
Indeed.
But with all that said, that is going to wrap things up for this particular episode. We will be back at it next week with a brand new season. Since I'm still continuing this whole exploring more video game adjacent TTRPGs, we are going to be looking at Beacon by our good friend Tim Gonzalez.
Beacon.
So that should be a fun one, and we will have a couple newcomers in for that as well.
Ooh, nice.
So
this is. I look forward to meeting them.
Mm-hmm. So they will probably be the FNG for about a week.
Yep.
But until then, on behalf of the good brothers present and not present, my name is Mildra. I am your gaming monk. Stay fucking frosty, everybody.
Goodbye.